My name is Cody Cannon. I am the senior pastor at Life Point Church in Woodland, California. I've been here for 6 years. I was the youth pastor for 4 of those, and over the last 2 years have transitioned into the senior pastor role. Our church is somewhere around 300 people. Truthfully, the obstacles, I guess, were pretty stereotypical. Older people that liked the way things were. The benefit that I had was our church was so hurt by the last couple pastors that had been here, that if me coming in was my biggest task was just to love them and to let them know that God loved them and God hadn't given up on our church yet. So any small changes that took place were kind of done without anybody saying much, just because they were just happy new people were coming to church. They were happy that the word of God was being preached. They were happy that they were not uncomfortable coming into church or that there was any drama to worry about. Our church is ran by an elder board, which I am an elder at our church. And so we meet together. Bigger decisions are done through all of us. And that's stuff like budget, that's stuff like spending over a certain amount of money. But a lot of the day-to-day decisions they leave to me, even as much as hiring staff is on my shoulders. Usually I love to keep them informed. I have an awesome elder board right now, some leaders that love discipling other guys that are raising up a lot of people in our church. So they trust me and I really, really trust them. And it has everything to do, I think, with why our church is moving the way it's moving. So when it comes to bigger decisions, it's usually us getting together, talking about it, looking for holes in it and praying over it, and usually it's just moving forward. I spend more time doing different types of counseling than I do with anything else. More than sermon prep, more than vision casting. I am sitting at my desk, talking with somebody about some issue. Sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small, but that is where I want to spend a lot of my time, and I'm really thankful that I was trained well in that. Be very careful about setting hard, specific boundaries, because each case is different. Each person's different. Each issue is different, and you have a different relationship with each person that's going to come in. If it's somebody you don't know very well, you probably need some hard boundaries because you don't know what they're going to say when they leave that place. If it's someone who's been around for a long time, who you've done ministry with, who you have a close relationship with, calm down on your boundaries. It doesn't need to be this big thing where, like, I have just a specific instance in my mind where there's a woman who has gone on missions trips with me. She's been really close with my family. We spent time at her house, and she came in here. My windows are open, doors are open, but my secretary was not sitting out here. Usually for women, I have my secretary right there so she can know if anything's getting crazy. I do not drive that hard with someone who I know and love and who has an issue that needs to be discussed right then. And so just be careful when you start listing out your boundaries, that you're not so pressed with them that you can't bend when you have somebody that has a pressing issue that you know and love and care about, just simply because it doesn't fit into your boundary rules. There are definitely cases where you should not bend whatsoever, but don't get so caught up in them that you miss a chance to help somebody and serve somebody and love somebody. And that's kind of a broad but really easy answer. Is what went wrong with them was they did not make the decisions based on the people that were in their church. They did not do it for them or out of love for them. They did it because that's what churches do. Churches need really hip music. Churches need small groups. Churches need whatever, fill in the blank, and that was their thought. Their thought was, I will grow the church if I do what other churches are doing, and without any regard to the actual people that are coming and wanting to be shepherded by them. And that took form in all sorts of different areas, but I think if you are making a decision that will clearly hurt your sheep, you are not being a good shepherd. If you are moving past what your sheep are ready for, then you're just not being a good pastor. And that's what these guys did, is they they forgot that anything they do and everything they do is going to be based on their people and their love for their people. So if they love their people, they're not going to jump the gun on something that wouldn't fit in with them, that is going to make them angry or rub them the wrong way, because that the people are who they care about. Now, in on the other side of that, you're not supposed to coddle sheep. You want them to grow. You want them to move forward in their relationship with God. So there are going to be things where you do press them. You do make them uncomfortable. You do take them somewhere where they maybe wouldn't have gone on their own. But if you do that with a heart that loves them and cares about them, they will be much more willing to follow you than if you're just simply willing to say, I have to do this because that's what churches do, and disregard the sheep. Once you do that, you're a bad shepherd. And that's what they did that often. I don't think they cared about the church that they had. They knew they loved the church that they wanted. Even the guy that was before me, you would ask him, what's your 5-year plan? And he'd tell you, church of, pastor in a church of, close to 1,000 people in 5 years. And it's just like, how can you do that without loving the ones that are coming now? How will you ever accomplish that if the people now won't follow you? Because no church grows just based on the pastor. If it has to be done through the people. That's why we equip the saints for the work of the ministry. And when they go and they trust you to follow you, they'll go and they'll do the ministry. So that was a long way of answering. They forgot about their sheep and left them in the dust.